Welcome everybody to another episode of The Devil May Crypto. What are we going to do today and what are we going to talk about? If you watch this channel, you probably know I'm a huge fan of Neo. I haven't reviewed Neo itself because there's already probably 1 billion other videos out there talking about Neo. But I still think Neo, especially because it is Chinese and there's still FUD around China, it's still undervalued, and so are the tokens that are surrounding it, which are the NEP5s. Today we're going to be talking about one of those. The most recent video I did is about Trinity Network. Today we're going to go over Zeepin. Both of them NEP5 tokens. So let's go ahead and get started. So what Zeepin does is it takes independent creators and it connects them. What you would see in a normal organization, that a singular person or a person that's trying to get a team to work together, a very small micro organization, for example, they hit snags. Copywriting, investing, having no credit, having one person missing from the team. You don't have anybody to help you, make it digital. Take what you have and what you created, somebody that drew it, put on there. Basically interconnecting people and putting them together, and then selling that idea. Doing basically, once again, what I said, everything that an organization does and putting it all together and decentralizing it. That is what Zeepin is at its core, and that is what it does. And it is an NEP5 token. It is under Neo, like I said. Why do we need this? Well, as we're moving forward, you'll see a lot of my friends today, they're independent creators. Nowadays you can work and do bounties or whatever else on Wager. You can work for yourself independently and be a sole proprietor. But it is hard, and it takes a while to find people. There are certain websites that do help, but within the infrastructure of the crypto community, this can make it a lot easier. And if Neo does become what we think it will, in the next few years, especially in China, this is going to be a big play. So let's move a little bit. This is the website that's behind me. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So why Zeepin? We kind of went over that a little bit earlier when I was giving a kind of a little short analysis of it, but it talks about the different parts, but the Copyright Pro, Authorization Pro, decentralized transactions, and the investments. Of course, the investment part is trying to get some capital or funding as a team, because if you are a creator, a lot of times you're broke, but you get the money from the outside. And the Authorization Pro is, I believe, the smart contract aspect of it, and the Copyright Pro is getting the help with copywriting. Then it goes over, it connects the why with the decentralized applications within the Zeepin economy or the Zeepin network. Z Crew, people that you work with. The Z Rights is the creative copyright aspect of it. Z Create is the smart contract that connects it. Talent is everybody's unique identity. And Z Fund, of course, is the fundraising on the projects. And that kind of creates that small ecosystem within Zeepin. Talks about the Zeepin token for a little bit. Same as any other token within the ecosystem of the cryptocurrency, it pretty much is used as payment within the idea. Nothing too different. But another huge part is the roadmap. It talks about the progress of each of them. What we talked about earlier, the chain wallet, the rights, create, fund, talent proof. This is a very, very new project. So none of it is it's not really finished yet. The reason I like unfinished products that are somewhat close to it is because that's where the money is. Once things get announced, once they start getting a lot more partnerships, it'll be worth a lot more. Of course, the other thing you have to ask yourself is, if it doesn't have a working product yet, usually what people call an MVP, a minimum viable product, how are you sure if they're serious or if they're gonna succeed? A lot of it is what I talked about in other videos before. You have to look at the team. You have to see if they've done anything yet. You have to look at their past experiences. If the team has met any goals together. I mean, if they give updates, if they tell you, a GitHub is another really good thing to look at. See if they're updating what they are working on. If they have kind of alphas, products, which is not the full mainnet product yet, but just different small aspects of it that they're working on, just showing that they're getting places. But a lot of it, March, April, May of this year, so nothing yet. They're processing and planning some of it. But this is, like I said, more of a speculative play. A lot of the tokens on Neo are, and for the reason is that they're all fairly new. I truly do believe in this one. The next thing we'll go over, I believe, is the they got a little roadshow where they're talking about. You can see some. They have a lot of videos in their YouTube where you can see some of what they talk about and what the company is all about. It's presented fairly well. We'll go over the team in just a second. So let's talk a little bit about the team. This is the problem with with Neo tokens, as I talked before. It's hard to find information on them. Zufei, I'm so sorry if I butcher any of these names. He is the CEO and the co-founders also the COO of Arting365, which is a Chinese company that does basically the same thing that they're doing now. So what they initially, or what they're basically doing is they're taking the company they had before, probably on their contacts and users and everything else, and just kind of transporting it onto Neo within the network of Zeepin and onto the blockchain revolution, if you will. So I tried to look up a little bit about Arting365. It was super hard. Luckily, there is Google Translate. The future's crazy, by the way. It's wild how much it works, but it is a company. It, from what I read, had about 1.2 million users. The website itself, the only thing that worried me about it at the time when I was looking, it just said bad gateway. But from other websites reviewing it and talking about it, I saw that it was a working company. They did have users. They had connections with the Chinese government. So how happy does that make me? Could be better. Could be better. But like I said, I like a little more speculative plays here. Would I put a lot of trust into this team? From what I see and what they represent on their page, yes. Just from the stuff that I have looked some of them up. Once again, it is hard. You can't look up their LinkedIns. You can't find their Facebooks, because a lot of the stuff is Chinese. But if you do look it over yourselves, feel free to, just like I did. I spent like an hour just scouring the internet for these people. They are out there. They're real, and they do seem to be representing themselves very well. And the CEO is he does a few interviews on YouTube that you can find too. So overall, positive for this. So, are they putting themselves out there? Kind of. They're trying. I think Zeepin overall is trying to go global. They're not trying to stay in the just the market of China. I think eventually they want to spread everywhere and make the community work with any language and no borders basically whatsoever. So to most of my viewers in the United States, or English speaking viewers, have some in Britain too, and then Australia and everything else, but they do have a Reddit page. The Reddit page has 9,800 readers for a project fairly new, and you're probably wondering how do they do that? I think it's because they're managing themselves pretty well in terms of getting subscribers by I think that they did like a bounty program. They like gave you like a few tokens or something like that for just subscribing and sending in your wallet information. They'll airdrop some stuff for you. But I think that's how they got 9,800 from what I read earlier. And is that a good plan? Yeah, I've seen it done elsewhere before, but 9,800 is pretty substantial for something that's fairly new. But the quality of those subscribers is not very good. So those 9,000 really aren't 9,000. They might not even use Reddit at all. They might have, subscribed and just don't even pay attention to it because it doesn't seem like the page is super active. So does it look good? Yeah, no, it does look good, but I don't think it's anything substantial. When they get some traction, when they start really marketing themselves and putting themselves out there, the users will become more. They'll want to actually contribute instead of just sitting there and being subscribers, followers, and then just whatever So, but yeah, I don't see much happen on this page. But like I said, it's new, impressive for somebody new, not that useful. It's kind of a facade, if you will. They do have a Medium page. It's once again a lot of it's in Chinese. I'm sure you can get it translated, but they put themselves out there. That's good. Something to see. This is their go to their Twitter. They do have a Twitter. That's good. I think 45,000 followers. Probably the same thing. It was just they got you to follow everything, and I think in the long term it'll pay off. So if even a third of those people are active users of the platform like Twitter or Reddit or something like that, even if they're not paying attention now, when they start hitting objectives in their roadmap, it'll start getting shares. People start talking about it more. People will jump on the page. They'll be like, wow, a lot of people are part of this project or following this project. Let me get in there too. So it is smart in the first place, but like I said, at this point, nothing too big or important. And they also have Facebook too. It's up there. Basically what it shows in this aspect is they are putting themselves out there. They do have a team that is obviously very good with online marketing, and they know what they're doing. If it was a very crappy project, it would look a lot worse than this. I've seen it is impressive. It is to me for a project that's very new. I was surprised by this. Is it super meaningful now? Like I said, no, but it is good. It is somewhat good news going off in the future once they get on track, once they have an MVP, and once they start moving forward. But yeah, not bad at all. This is where we're going to end today, guys. The white paper. As we talked about earlier, they have no MVP, no actual working product as of right now. The roadmap it's going to be hitting soon. Within the next month or so, we should start seeing things happen. But for now, all it is a white paper. Within that realm of white paper speculation, because there's not a lot of stuff going on, I would highly recommend you all to read it. There are some white papers that basically shill themselves. They're not very detailed. It doesn't go over the risks. You can tell a legal team even worked them here. You can tell that every person within the Zeepin team, advisors, and everybody, they worked really well together on this white paper. It is impressive. We'll just go through a little bit together, but I just want my personal opinion on it. Of course, everybody will have their own opinions, but I was very impressed with the project that's this early in. With this white paper. Of course, most projects just have an initial white paper, and you might go to a yellow paper or something else like that, or go farther into it. But this one is good. Let's go ahead and go through it for a little. So, like I said, I'm not going to go over everything. I implore all of you to scrutinize this. Leave some notes in the comments. We can talk about it together. But it's detailed. Of course, the big things is the problems they're trying to solve, their own mission, their community, and how they're going to set it up, the participants in it, why they're even utilizing blockchain. Like I mentioned before, they already had a company that was working and doing this, and so it kind of explains on why they even switched over to this. The purpose for it, the apps on it, and then the challenges, the plan, board of directors, the team. But a thing I want to really focus on is the risk factors. Sometimes you don't see that in it, but they really, it's almost, it makes you worry a lot of times, and you're like, why would they even put this up? But I think it's because they, let me go all the way to the bottom of it. But I truly believe it's because they're pretty transparent, and they want people to know that it is risky. It is something that anything can happen, and I just don't, you don't see that much. Like I said, a lot of white papers to me seem like shilling papers. You know, even though they're trying to sell themselves, they don't really give you a lot of the negatives. They might do some just for liability purposes, and you know they don't want to get sued or whatever else like that. But they seem to just really be detailed about it. They talked about the regulations and the risks associated, the digital wallet, technical, systemic risk. Like they even go over like war, what happens in something large scale like natural disasters, hacking, and and then even at the bottom, and this is like I said, it can stress people out. The failure to develop. They're saying it could just not go as planned. They might not meet their deadlines, certain things. The human error is involved, and then somebody might leave the team, whatever else. Of course, we all know that. But the fact they address it, to me, it kind of makes me trust them more. I know for some people it's like, wow, like they're basically saying right here they might even never finish a project. Every project should have that. Okay? It is a simple fact within this entire world that not everything's going to get finished. Not everything's going to go the way you think it is. But they put it all out there. So to me, it was a testament of them saying like, hey, we're gonna do our best. Anything can happen. But they seem to be good at communicating and putting their story out there, and they of course do the follows to the bottom there. But to me, I thought that was a positive. But like I said, go over it. Being at the end of the video here, I just want to say thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for being, please hit the subscribe button. It'll come up towards the end of the video. Check out my other videos. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Neo network that is happening right now. But do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy with opinions. I've a little bit of history with cryptos, and before this, I was really into the market. And that's what kind of brought me to cryptos, which is of course the money that is in cryptocurrency. But do your own research. Let's get some conversation going. Comment at the bottom, and of course subscribe. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you next time.
Tell me pretty lies.